Hello everybody and welcome to today's Q&A on Core Web Vital Basics. I'm going to start going through a presentation for you, which is going to take you through some of the basics around Core Web Vitals and help you to understand more about the topic. Please do put any questions or comments that you've got in the comments box, and I'll keep an eye out for those dropping in, and when the questions do come in, I'll pause, answer those questions, and then come back to the presentation so that you can all get the information that you're looking for today. So let's start off with the presentation. So we're going to first of all define what Core Web Vitals are and what Zoic can do to improve those Core Web Vitals as well. So looking at things like cloud integration, Leap, optimization settings, and also charity ads as well. So first of all, let's look at what are Core Web Vitals. So Core Web Vitals are part of search signals for page experience, and they're broken down into three different types. The first is loading, which is LCP, or largest contentful paint. The second is interactivity, or FID, so first input delay. The third is visual stability, so this is cumulative layout shift, or CLS. So for Core Web Vitals, the metrics are equivalent of page experience. It's a ranking factor and it's more than a tiebreaker, but it also doesn't replace relevance. So this is a quote from Google's John Mueller about Core Web Vitals and the ranking factor. So what we can take from this is content is still very much king. So in terms of defining what Core Web Vitals are all about, we can look at them broken down into each level. So Core Web Vitals at the top level is a set of specific factors that Google considers important in a web page's overall user experience. If we then break it down to LCP, or largest contentful paint, this is about the perceived page to load from the point of an actual user. Then we've got FID, or first input delay. And this is the time between when a user first interacts with your site to the time the browser is able to respond to that interaction. And then we've got cumulative layout shift. I always find it really hard to say that word. And this is abbreviated to CLS. And this is about how often user experience unexpected layout shifts. So in terms of Core Web Vitals, there's two different types of data. There's the lab data, which is the mathematical approximations simulating user interactivity. So lab data is used when Google doesn't have enough real-time user information. So when you're looking at your Leap dashboard, sometimes you can see the Core Web Vitals and they're kind of hazed out and you have to press a button to be able to see what your Core Web Vitals are. This is to highlight that what we're using to show you your Core Web Vital scores is that we're using the information that Google has provided, and that information is lab data rather than field data. Lab data, because it's mathematical approximations, tends to show your Core Web Vitals as being slightly worse on average than what they actually are for your actual user experiences. So sometimes it can be a little bit upsetting when you see that lab data. Please don't worry, it's unlikely that that's your actual user experience. And as your website grows and builds and Google has more information about your site, the lab data will change to field data and then it'll be much more accurate. Field data is collected from actual user experiences and how they navigate your pages. So let's look at how to set up your Zoic dashboard. So the first most important thing with this is to go to your settings tab, check that you are cloud integrated, check that you have the Cloudflare CDN set up. Then go to your home tab. How's your cache hit rate? The aim for it is to be in the green. For growing sites, a cache hit rate of around 85 to 90 is okay. The reason for that is the cache hit rate, once it's in green, what we're seeing then is like an optimal level of your pages being cached by Ezoic, which makes them faster and enables us to give you the best user experience that we can, which then impacts your Core Web Vital scores. When you're growing, what you definitely don't want is 100% cache hit rate or a sort of 99% cache hit rate. And the reason for that is if you had 100% cache hit rate, it would mean that what's happening is you're not getting any new readers to your site. They're not accessing new content, and so your site would be stagnant and it wouldn't be growing. There's an article here about how to improve your cache hit rate. You can find it in the support channel, and I'd recommend taking a look at that. If your cache hit rate is less than 85, then improving that can really help with your Core Web Vital scores. So the next thing to do is go to your speed tab and request the Leap team to set up your site. So if you're seeing this Leap Setup Assistant, all you need to do is click on the Set Up My Site button. That will add your site to the queue and our team will take a look at your Leap settings for you. The next thing to do is on your speed tab is to take a look at the recommendations. So what these recommendations are is they're showing you all the technology and plugins that we found on your site that are impacting your Core Web Vital scores. We're giving you alternatives and you can click on the View Alternatives button there. And we're also giving you articles. So any green writing, it's got a line under like this. If you click on it, a PDF will open and you can then work through that to then be able to take steps to remove that technology from your site. What's important to remember is we're definitely not saying you need to remove all of these plugins from your site or all of these technologies, because we totally understand that some of these technologies are integral to your business. What we're asking or recommending is to remove or replace as many as you can, and then seeing what impact this has on your Core Web Vital scores, and then making a decision on what's left of, okay, is there an alternative for this? And if there's not, then there's a balance there in terms of keeping that technology, but then seeing the impact it has on the Core Web Vital scores. If you've got YouTube videos on your website, if they are original, you can switch to Ezoic's video platform, and this will help your LCP score. If they are curated content, use YouTube Lite, and I've popped the URL on there so you can find that plugin. And that can have a really big impact on LCP scores. I'd also recommend removing any AdSense ad code from your website if your traffic is at 100%. Again, this can help with your Core Web Vital scores as well. So with the monetization tab, I'd recommend switching on charity ads. These can help with your CLS scores. And then all you need to do is wait 2 weeks to see what impact this has on your Core Web Vital scores before that you then start going to the next level of detail. So where to get additional help? You can join us on office hours. You can take a look at the Ezoic blog, join us in the community, look at the support articles, or also take a look at weekly webinars, training and events as well. So there we go. What questions do you have for me? And we'll start answering those. So just while we're waiting for any questions to come in, what I'll do is I'll start putting in 3 different articles that I've got in the Ezoic blog on how to improve site speed and Core Web Vitals into the comments. if you bookmark these and take a look at these after today and work through them, these can really help you improve your Core Web Vital scores as well. Thank you for your question, Engineer's Thought. Engineer's Thought has said, how can I improve the Core Web Vital scores? So the steps that I've just taken you through as part of this presentation can help you to improve your Core Web Vital scores. In terms of your Core Web Vital scores at the moment, can you let me know what they are, and then I can give you specific advice around how to help these? Okay, so just waiting for Engineer's Thought just to pop in the Core Web Vitals in the comments, and then I can happily take a look at that and do some live troubleshooting. In the meantime, if anyone has any questions or wants to go through any topics around Core Web Vitals, please let me know, and then I can take a look at that for you. Hi, Engineers Thought. I don't have a way where you can send screenshots, unfortunately, through the this technology. If you can just write for me your Core Web Vitals, like LCP is this score, FID is this score, CLS is this score. I can certainly troubleshoot that for you live on the call. That's no problem at all. Hi, Guav, welcome back. I hope you're well. I'm really well, thank you. Okay, so just waiting for Engineers Thought to share their Core Web Vital scores, and then I can do some live troubleshooting for you all as part of this this call. Guav has asked, Heather, does a lower cache hit rate affect my earnings? Potentially it can do by a percentage, and the reason for this is on multiple levels, partly because if you've got a lower cache hit rate, Guav, your Core Web Vital scores are going to be lower. So potentially that's going to impact your user experience, which is going to perhaps impact the amount of times people come back to your page or the length of time they spend on your page. But also it can also impact your standing with Google as well in terms of your rankings. So what I'll do is I'll get an article for you that can help you with your cache hit rate. What I'd recommend, depending on the growth of your site, is you want to be in at least green for your cache hit rate. So somewhere around 85 to 90, if you're currently sort of growing your site, is a good fit. If you're a bit higher than that, that's fantastic. If you're a tiny bit lower than that, then don't worry too much. But definitely make sure your cache is optimally set up, and also make sure you've got your CDN manager set up as well. So I'll get you those articles and I'll pop them in the chat there so you've got that. Bear with me. Okay, so I've popped the article in the chat there about how to improve your cache hit rate. I definitely recommend everyone taking a look at this. It's a really good way to be able to improve your core web vital scores and then also your overall site speed as well. So in terms of this article, it takes you through like how you can view your cache and also the URLs that not getting cached using our big data analytics tools. Then it talks you through how to increase the cache hit age, but also links you to an article which talks you through how to set up your Ezoic plugin for CDN management. What that does is it enables Ezoic to automatically clear the cache for you. And so with this, when we automatically clear the cache, we're just updating the relevant content that needs updating and not recaching pages that haven't changed. This can help your overall cache hit rate and then also help your core web vitals as well. And then it takes you through overriding the cache control headers, removing any incompatible caching plugins, checking your Cloudflare caching settings, and then provides additional links there for you. So take a look at that article and see how you get on. As with all our articles, at the very bottom of them, there's a way to get in touch with us directly to our support team. So if you've read through the article, worked through the steps and found that you're just not able to get it working or you're finding that there's problems, do reach out to our support team. That goes directly through to them and they'll be able to help you. Okay, so initial return has said we've got a decent LCP score for desktop, but a very poor one for mobile score. Any advice, tips on that one? Sure, no problem. So first of all, the main thing you need to do is work through the steps in the presentation that we've talked about. So improving your cache hit rate, making sure that you've got everything set up in terms of charity ads switched on, remove as many recommendations that you've can, make sure that our team have updated your optimization settings, and then that way you've got everything specifically set up inside your dashboard for the best that you can. What you then need to do, initial return, is to wait 2 weeks to then be able to see what impact this has. If you find that after 2 weeks that it hasn't then impacted your LCP score, it's time to really start digging in to see where that impact is coming from. So in terms of LCP, it's about things that are above the fold. So things like imagery or fonts, maybe you've got a logo that's loading up quite slowly and that's impacting your overall LCP score. And we've got 3 different articles here, which takes you through troubleshooting steps that you can take to drill into what's happening. So what I would recommend doing is taking a look at each of these and working through them. The most useful one, if I just press the back button, this should bring this one back up. Apologies. The most useful one is perhaps working through this one here, which is about troubleshooting the optimization settings and getting quite granular with that optimization settings as well. What I'll do initial return is I'll pop my email address in to the comments, and if you send me an email from your Zoic registered email address, once you've gone through those steps, I can take a look at that for you, and then give you also any additional suggestions specific for your site. We have a Leap team here. Some of you will have access to them directly through your Zoic dashboard. If you don't, I can put your site in front of them and get you some advice for them as well. So there we go, initial return. I've put my email address in the chat there. I look forward to hearing from you. When you're ready, please do send your email from your Zoic registered email address, and that enables me to then be able to get back to you directly and to keep your account secure as well. So we've got just under 10 minutes left. If you do have any additional questions, feel free to send them my way, and then we can go from there. So Guava said, so Heather, yesterday you told me that Zoic uses its own cloud CDN network. Does that mean spending money on the Cloudflare Pro plan is a waste of money because Zoic delivers my content, not Cloudflare? I'm not sure about that directly, Guav. I've not been asked that before. So sometimes having faster hosting or pro plans at a server level can make things quicker because the quicker your host delivers the content to us, the quicker we can then send it to your readers. And it's important to remember that no cache hit rate is ever going to be sort of perfectly 100%. Zoic isn't going to cache all of your cache hit rates when you're a growing site. This is actually a good thing because it means that your readers are accessing new content, you're building new content. What I would recommend doing, Guav, is if you just copy and paste that question into a ticket for me through the Zoic dashboard, I can then pass that over to our tech team and just run that past them. So that we can get a definitive answer on that for you. And Guava said, I don't want to compromise my website design layout by removing unused CSS and JS code. So how can I improve my Core Web Vital? So yeah, I totally understand. There's definitely going to be areas of your site where you look at the technologies and think, actually, this doesn't work for my business. I don't want to remove that. And we're definitely not asking you to remove those things. As business owners, you're the ones that know your business best and have your business goals in mind. We're here to advise and support you, and there are going to be some areas of your site where it's about compromise. So if you don't want to remove those codes, that's absolutely fine. What we then need to do is to mitigate as much of everything else as we can alongside that, so that everything else that you're happy to remove or happy to change, we can support you with ideas on that, so that you can action those and see what impact it has on your core web vitals, and then make decisions from there. It's important to remember with the core web vitals, while it's definitely really important to work towards getting 100% green, across each different core web vital, it's always a balance between the user experience and then also your site functionality, the technology that you have on your site to give the readers the information that they're looking for, and then also alongside that, earning revenue as well. You all work really hard on your site and deserve to be rewarded for that. So everything's a balance. So Guav has said they've created a ticket. Fantastic. Thank you, Guav. I'll take a look at that as soon as we finish this call. And I'll also suggest some additional ideas around those core web vital scores as well. Once I've taken a look at your site specifically, and yeah, we'll see what we can do to move those scores up. So we've just got a few minutes left, everybody. If you do have any more questions, feel free to let me know, and then I'll be happy to answer them for you. So Guava said, what if I don't remove unused CSS and JS code but upgrade my hosting 2 times? Will it improve my core web vital scores? So the faster the hosting that you have and the better your cache hit rate, the better your overall core web vital scores are. Depending on how fast your hosting currently is, will depend on how much impact that has on your core web vital scores overall. So with the core web vital scores, sometimes making small changes can have big impacts, and sometimes making small changes can just have a very small uplift in them. Sometimes you can spend lots of money and update your hosting, and it will have an impact, either big or small. But actually, what's really impacting it is maybe a plugin on your site, or something that's got a delayed script, for example, which is slowing down, say, an image loading or a font loading. And actually, by fixing that image or that font loading, can then have the biggest impact on your core web vital scores. So Constantine Edward, thank you so much for your question. Constantine has said, hello, can you share the article link? Yeah, sure, no problem. What I'll do is I'll pop them in the chat now for you. Bear with me, I'll get that done now. No problem at all. I'm really happy to help. So thank you everybody for joining me today. I hope you found some useful tips as part of the presentation. So once you've got your Leap dashboard and your caching optimally set up and have worked through those troubleshooting articles, if you do find that your Core Web Vital scores haven't moved into the green, please do take a look at the bottom of each article. At the bottom of each article, there is a way to get in touch with us, and we can then dig into your questions specifically and take a look at what's happening and find solutions for you. So thank you everybody for joining me. I look forward to catching up with you all next week. I've got another presentation that we're doing as a group premium review on Wednesday at 9 a.m. British Standard Time. This is where you can ask any questions that you would like about your site and Ezoic in general, or troubleshooting steps around any questions you've got around tools or problems that you're seeing on your site as well. Okay, well, thank you so much, everybody. Take care. Bye for now.